This episode is brought to you by Marvel Studios Echo. All episodes streaming January 9th, only on Hulu and Disney+. Rated TV MALV. Viewer discretion advised. Maya Lopez has betrayed her mentor, the notorious Kingpin. Now on the run, she returns to her hometown to prepare for the biggest fight of her life. Don't miss Marvel Studios' hardest-hitting series yet. An epic 5-episode event. Marvel Studios Echo. All episodes streaming January 9th, only on Hulu and Disney+.
Hey everyone, here is a little bonus episode from the vaults of Patreon. Just a heads up, this is actual ASMR, not ASMR adjacent like my normal show. This is full whispering and tapping and accidental mouth sounds and all of that. So if you hate that type of thing, please turn it off now. This is also all casual and not scripted, so it's more off the cuff. I just wanted to let you all know before you jump in and want to scratch your ears out if you hate actual ASMR. It's not for everyone, I get it. But for those who do, I hope you enjoyed this weird bonus episode. Okay, see you on the other side. Hey everyone. It's been a while since I've done any whispery ASMR. But recently, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I can't remember who. But recently, one of you commented on another old ASMR, not video, audio file, and asked if I would do more. I know it's not a lot of your guys' cup of tea, but some of you really enjoy it, and I'm a big fan of ASMR, so I thought I'd do some weird ASMR to just help some of you relax and, chill out. Just listen to this while you're playing. I listen to ASMR a lot while I'm playing video games at night. I play a lot of Red Dead Redemption number 2, and I like to end my nights a lot of times, if I have time. Sometimes I don't have time, and my husband and I only have one TV that we share, so sometimes he'll go play games on his computer and I'll have the TV. So I like to put on some ASMR, one of my favorite channels, and some earbuds, because ASMR is best listened to in earbuds, and just play the game and ride across the dusty trails and relax. This has been quite a week. As you all know, I'm not going to go into it here. I probably will on the main channel. I'll talk about it a little more. But right now, we're just going to relax. This isn't the place to talk about stuff like that. And I've picked a nice, relaxing topic for us today. I'm going to give you a list of unusual deaths. This is available on Wikipedia. If any of you would like to go read along, or if my voice gives out before the end of the video, I have so much respect for ASMR artists who do such long videos, because I don't know what it is. I'm not a very loud person, but speaking in a whisper is really hard. It takes a lot out of me. Let's see, I'm trying to think of maybe if I should keep my windscreen on or take it off. I don't know, because sometimes I like the breath here, like when your breath hits the mic. Here, I'll give you an example. I'll take this off. That was ASMR itself, but kind of like, when your voice hits. I think I'm gonna keep it off. It's a little better for the sound for ASMR. And I'm a habitual nail biter, but since the pandemic, I've been very good about just keeping my hands washed and away from my face, which means I haven't been biting my nails, which means I can do this now. Here's a little ASMR on the mic. Again, I know some of you probably hate that, but a lot of you like it, and I like it, so this is just something I like to use the Patreon channel to give, to do a lot more experimental stuff, and to do a lot of just stuff that probably wouldn't go over very well on the main channel, because you guys are my I don't want want to say ride or die, but you're just more invested in my whole journey as a podcaster, I guess. Okay, let's jump into it, shall we? So this is a list of unusual deaths on Wikipedia. I need chapstick. My lips are dry. This goes really far back. All the way back to 620 BC. And it starts with Draco of Athens. Oh, also, it's probably obvious, but trigger warning. This talks about death, and even though they're unusual, they're not always like funny. They're just unusual. Sorry, my neighborhood is very loud, and it's been especially loud lately. A lot of you know I live in Los Angeles, and you can guess why. Again, I don't want to get too much into it. I do want to say that I support all the protesters, though, just throwing that out there. And here we go. We're starting with Draco of Athens. And Draco died in 620 BC. Draco, an Athenian lawmaker, was reportedly smothered to death by gifts of cloaks and hats showered upon him by appreciative citizens at a theater on... I've seen this place written down a lot when, studying like Athenian history in school, but Aegina, I think that's how you pronounce it, but probably not. So, poor guy was smothered by gifts of cloaks and hats. What a way to go. This next one is Charondas, late 7th to early 5th century BC. Charondas was a Greek lawgiver from Sicily. According to Diodorus Siculus, he issued a law that anyone who brought weapons into the assembly must be put to death. One day, Charondas arrived at the assembly seeking help to defeat some brigands in the countryside, but with a knife still attached to his belt. In order to uphold his own law, he committed suicide. I mean, you can't call him a hypocrite, that's for sure. Okay, this next one is... this is another pretty... These ancient names are difficult. Arhichian of Phegalia. Arhichian of Phegalia died in 564 BC. A Greek pancratiast. Hold on, we're gonna click on that one. Let's go on a journey because I don't know what a pancratiast is. So a pancratiast. A pancration was a sporting event introduced into the Greek Olympic Games in 648 BC. Was an empty-hand submission sport with scarcely any rules. The athletes used boxing and wrestling techniques, but also others such as kicking and holds, locks, and chokes on the ground. It was like a Fight Club type thing, almost like MMA, but I guess less rules. And they were probably naked. So that's what Arhichion was. Caused his own death during the Olympic finals. Held by his unidentified opponent in his stranglehold and unable to free himself, Arhichion kicked his opponent, causing him so much pain that the opponent made the sign of defeat to the umpires, but at the same time broke Arhichion's neck. Since the opponent had conceded defeat, Arhichion was proclaimed the victor posthumously. He won. Yay. So this is... I need a drink of water. I'm telling you, whispering is really hard on the throat. Seriously, these ASMR artists, I can see why I prefer whispering to low talking, which is, there are different types types of ASMR, and one of them is like, okay, I had to cut for a second. In my neighborhood, they shoot off fireworks like all the time, like every single night, starting even in the daytime. And a giant firework just went off. So I had to cut that out so as not to startle you. But anyway, where was I? I was talking about ASMR. There's whispering and there's low talking. Low talking is kind of talking like this. And I like both, but I prefer whispering to really get like the tingles and like really relax. And so now I can see why so many ASMR artists take breaks from whispering and do the low talking, because wow, my throat. Anyway, let's see. I'm sorry, this is probably not super relaxing, but I'm committed. So okay, there was another firework, so I had to cut again. I apologize. We may not get through much of this list, but if you like this whole thingy, let me know, and I will continue the list or find other weird things to read to you guys in a whispery voice, and I'm really trying to take you guys out of my vernacular, and I apologize for that, you folks. I really apologize. It's been 31 years that I've been saying you guys, and I'm really trying hard to take really gendered language out of my vernacular again, so I apologize. I'm learning, I promise. Where was I? Oh, Sisamnes died in 525 BC. According to Herodotus, Sisamnes was a corrupt judge under Cambyses II of Persia. He accepted a bribe and delivered an unjust verdict. As a result, the king had him arrested. Trigger warning, and flayed alive. His skin was then used to cover the seat in which his son would sit in judgment. That's intense. Okay, Pythagoras of Samos, 495 BC. Ancient sources disagree on how the Greek philosopher Pythagoras died. Oh, this is like the Pythagoras, like Pythagoras. Cool. But one late night, and probably apocryphal legend. I love the word apocryphal, and I never say it correctly the first time. Apocryphal legend reported by both Diogenes Laertius, a 3rd century AD biographer of famous philosophers, and Lamblicius, a Neoplatonist philosopher. Stay in school, kids. I'm having trouble with some of these words. States that Pythagoras was murdered by his political enemies. Supposedly, he almost managed to outrun them, but he came to a bean field and refused to run through it because he had prohibited beans as ritually unclean. Since cutting through the field would violate his own teachings, Pythagoras simply stopped running and was killed. This story may have been fabricated by Neanthes of Cyzicus, on whom Diogenes and Lamblicius rely as a source. Oh, it's not oh my god. It's Iamblicius. That's an I, not a lowercase l. I am so sorry. You're all turning it off now, saying like, wow, she is pretty dumb. Heraclitus of Ephesus in 475 BC. Sorry, I scrolled down real quick. I think we're gonna get to like AD, and then we'll stop for this one. And again, if you folks like this, then let me know and I'll do another one. Or I might do another one just because, I don't know. But let me know if you like it. Heraclitus of Ephesus, 475 BC. According to one account given by Diogenes Laertius, the Greek philosopher Heraclitus was said to have been devoured by dogs after smearing himself with cow manure in an attempt to cure his dropsy. There was an attempt made. Dropsy nowadays is known as edema, also known as fluid retention or swelling. I didn't know that off the top of my head. I'm on Wikipedia. I just looked it up, so I wish I should have just let you think that I did. Themistocles, 495 BC. Themistocles, the Athenian general who won the Battle of Salamis, actually died of natural causes in exile, but was widely rumored to have committed suicide by drinking bull's blood. Since bull's blood is not actually poisonous, Themistocles cannot have died in this way, but the legend is widely retold in classical sources. The early 20th century English classicist Percy Gardner proposed that the story about him drinking bull's blood may have been based on an ignorant misunderstanding of a statue showing Themistocles in a heroic pose holding a cup as an offering to the gods. The comedic playwright Aristophanes references Themistocles drinking bull's blood in his comedy The Knights, performed in 324 BC, as the most heroic way for a man to die.
Hey there, it's the new year. You've got mood boards and resolutions, and work is back in full swing, and you don't need any extra stress in your life. And Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door, with over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more. Plus over 55 weekly add-ons. You'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Forget frantic lunch preps and rush dinners. Factor's 2-minute meals are your secret weapon in the new year. Fuel up fast with restaurant-quality meals, all delivered right to your door. Factor now offers loads of snack options like breakfast, smoothies, juices, snacks, and more to keep me going no matter what's on the schedule. Skip the overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door. They are ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Need a special occasion meal? Gourmet Plus is the perfect solution if you're looking for fast, upscale options done easily. When things get hectic, Factor is flexible. Change up your order every week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week. Or pause or reschedule your deliveries anytime. Stress less over meal times in the new year. Factor's no prep, no mess meals free up time otherwise spent on shopping, cooking, and cleanup. No more wasting time in the kitchen. Not only does Factor offer fast, simple solutions when I'm too busy to cook, they also help me stay on top of my goals. With offerings like Protein Plus and Keto, I can stay on track. This is definitely going to come in handy for my New Year's goals. Factor has everything I need for a week of flavorful, nutritious eats. In addition to ready-to-eat meals, they have cold-pressed juices, smoothies, energy bites, extra protein, veggie sides, and more to keep me energized during frantic times. Head to factormeals.com/scareyoutosleep50 and use code scareyoutosleep50 to get 50% off. That's code scareyoutosleep50 at factormeals.com. As many Scary to Sleep fans know, I've been going through a lot of changes in my life. And one thing I've been doing is getting my finances much more organized, and that includes paring down some of the subscriptions I pay for. It feels like everything is a subscription these days, be it for the gym or streaming services or music, the list goes on, and something that has helped me tremendously is Rocket Money. They not only helped me cancel subscriptions that were a pain to try to do myself. Have you ever tried to deal with some of these companies directly? It's just a headache. Rocket Money also alerts me when the subscriptions I did keep go up in price, giving me the ability to weigh my options and keep those little extras that add up oh so quickly in check. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills. I can see all of my subscriptions in one place, and if I see something I don't want, I can cancel it with a tap. I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/scareyoutosleep. That's rocketmoney.com/scareyoutosleep. rocketmoney.com/scareyoutosleep. Wow. I'm saying wow at my throat completely closing up. Seriously, ASMR artist, my hat, it is off. All the way off to you. Aeschylus, let's go with Aeschylus, 455 BC. According to Valerius Maximus, Aeschylus, the eldest of 3 great Athenian tragedians. Oh, wow. I've heard the story, I just didn't remember his name, was killed by a tortoise dropped by an eagle that had mistaken his bald head for a rock suitable for shattering the shell of the reptile. Pliny. Do you guys listen to Sawbones? I think they say Pliny, but I think it might be Pliny. In his Naturalis Historiae, adds that Aeschylus had been staying outdoors to avert a prophecy that he would be killed by a falling object. Yikes. Irony. That's irony, right? Yeah. Empedocles of Acragas, 430 BC. Empedocles of Acragas was a pre-Socratic philosopher from the island of Sicily who, in one of his surviving poems, declares himself to become a divine being, no longer mortal. That's quite a statement to make. According to Diogenes Laertius, he tried to prove he was an immortal god by leaping into Mount Etna, an active volcano. This legend is also alluded to by the Roman poet Horace. Sophocles, 406 BC. A number of remarkable legends concerning the death of Sophocles, another of the 3 great Athenian tragedians, are recorded in the late antique life of Sophocles. According to one legend, he choked to death on an unripe grape. Another says that he died of joy after hearing that his last play had been victorious. A third account reports that he died of suffocation after reading aloud a lengthy monologue from the end of his play. In English, it would be pronounced Antigone, but that's probably not how it's pronounced, without pausing to take a breath for commas or punctuation. At this point, reading like this, I can see it being the third one. I've had a few other podcasters reach out to me and ask me how I do such lengthy episodes in a lower voice. There's another podcast who reads similar to mine, and I'm not going to put them on blast because I don't know if they want this info out there, but they told me that one reason their episodes are only 20 minutes long is because they lose their voice after that. They can only do 20 minutes of reading in a lower voice, because I'm sure you've heard me by now on live streams and things. My normal speaking voice isn't completely the same as my podcast voice. They're not totally different. I don't put on a full character, but they're definitely my podcast
podcast voice is definitely lower and, just more chilled out than my normal voice. So yeah, I think a lot of us put on kind of a podcast voice for a lot of our shows, unless you're doing, like a riffing, like just talking back and forth type show. Oh, like the one I posted of me and my husband. My husband and I, my voice is probably a little bit different than you're used to. Okay, let's move on to Mithridates. There's a Greek historian out there right now who is just shaking their head at the way I'm pronouncing all these. Oh wait, this is a Persian soldier, so just lots of historians out there shaking their head at me. 401 BC, Mithridates, a Persian soldier who embarrassed his king, Artax. Oof, there's a lot of X's, and Artaxerxes, I think that's how you pronounce this, Artaxerxes II, by boasting of killing his rival Cyrus the Younger, who was the brother of Artaxerxes II, was executed by scaphism. So scaphism is, let me click on this so I can give you the full explanation, because it doesn't in here. It just assumes you know what it is. I've heard of it just because I'm a fucking weirdo who looks up this stuff. I'm sure lots of you are, though. Not to be all not like other podcasters. Lots of people look up these weird old torture methods. That's why they have whole museums on torture. Scaphism, if you don't know, though, it entailed trapping the victim between two boats, then covering them with milk and honey, and allowing them to fester and be devoured by insects or other vermin. I've heard of the same type of thing, where it's not two boats, but they trap them somehow in a log or even a bag, and yeah, you cover them in milk and honey, and then bugs come and just eat them alive, and I think it takes a long time. Plutarch, here is a description of our guy Mithridates, the guy we were talking about. The king decreed that Mithridates should be put to death in boats, which execution is after the following manner: taking two boats framed exactly to fit and answer each other, then laid down in one of them the malefactor that suffers upon his back, then covering it with the other, so setting them together that the head, hands, and feet of him are left outside, and the rest of his body lies shut within. They offer him food, and if he refuses to eat it, they force him to do so by pricking his eyes. Then, after he has eaten, they drench him with a mixture of milk and honey, pouring it not only into his mouth, but all over his face. They then keep his face continually turned up towards the sun, and it becomes completely covered up and hidden by the multitude of flies that settle on it. As within the boats, he does what those that eat and drink must needs do. They're talking about pooping. Creeping things and vermin spring out of the corruption and rottenness of this excrement, and these entering into the bowels of him, his body is consumed. When the man is manifestly dead, the uppermost boat being taken off, they find his flesh devoured, and swarms of noisome creatures preying upon, and, as it were, growing to his innards. In this way, Mithridates, after suffering for 17 days, at last expired. Woof. That is unusual for sure. He belongs on this list. Okay, so Democritus of Abdera, 370 BC. According to Diogenes Laertius, the Greek atomist philosopher Democritus of Abdera died at the age of 109. As he was on his deathbed, his sister was greatly worried because she needed to fulfill her religious obligations to the goddess Artemis in the approaching 3-day Thesmophoria festival. Democritus told her to place a loaf of warm bread under his nose, and was able to survive for the 3 days of the festival by sniffing it. He died immediately after the festival was over. Antiphanes, 310 BC. Antiphanes was a renowned comic poet of the Middle Attic comedy. The Suda claims he died after being struck by a pear. Agathocles of Syracuse, 289 BC. Agathocles, a Greek tyrant of Syracuse, was murdered with a poisoned toothpick. Philetas of Kos, 270 BC. Philetas of Kos, a Greek intellectual, is said by Athenaeus to have studied arguments and erroneous word usage so intensely that he wasted away and starved to death. British classicist Alan Cameron speculates that Philetas sounds better, died from a wasting disease, which his contemporaries joked was caused by his pedantry. Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China, September 10th, 210 BC, whose artifacts and treasure, that's crazy that we have even the exact date, September 10th, whose artifacts and treasures include the Terracotta Army. Oh, okay, they were in charge of the Terracotta Army, that's awesome. Died after ingesting several pills of mercury in the belief that it would grant him eternal life. That's super interesting. Chrysippus of Soli, 206 BC. One ancient account of the death of Chrysippus, a 3rd century BC Greek Stoic philosopher, tells that he died of laughter after he saw a donkey eating his figs. He told a slave to give the donkey neat wine to drink to wash them down with, and then, having laughed too much, he died. Eleazar Avaron, 163 BC. Eleazar Avaron was the brother of Judas Maccabeus. According to 1 Maccabees 6:46, in battle, he thrust his spear into the belly of a king's war elephant, which collapsed and fell on top of Eleazar, killing him instantly. I think that was the only biblical entry we had. That's pretty crazy. Portia Catanis, June 43. Either from June 43 BC to October 42 BC. The daughter of Marcus Porcius Cato Uticensis and second wife of Marcus Junius Brutus, according to ancient historians such as Cassius Dio and Appian, killed herself by swallowing hot coals. Oh, wow. Modern historians find this tale implausible. Yeah, I don't know how you'd even do that. I feel like it would touch your tongue and you'd immediately, like, your body would just be like, no. Well, Claudius Drusus, 20 AD. Oh, that's our first AD. So we're done with BCs. So we're done with the episode. Since I guess I'll leave you on a cliffhanger. I'm sure one of these unusual deaths has to do with an actual cliffhanger. Anyway, I just read ahead and there's some doozies coming up. You get into the Middle Ages and they had some ideals. Anyway, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, let me know. If you hated it, then I'm sorry. You don't have to listen to these. They're just extras for the people who do like them. And, yeah, everyone stay safe. Have a great night. I hope someone found some joy in this. It actually helped me a lot. It got me to it was kind of nice just sitting and reading and talking to all of you. Even though you can't talk back, sometimes it's just nice to just talk to all of you. I really want to figure out either a Twitch stream or a Google Hangout or something. I did the Twitch stream with Let's Not Meet, and it was so much fun. I got to be in the chat and talk to people and interact with everyone and just like have normal conversations. It was amazing. It wasn't just a quick message of like, you know, oh, I like your show, and me saying thank you. Sometimes I feel like I've run out of things to say, ways to say thank you, which is amazing. What a blessing, you know, like I have to say thank you so much. I've run out of ways of saying that. That's not a problem. But I would love to talk to you all. So if you have any suggestions or preferable like modes of like, would you prefer Twitch? Would you prefer a live stream on YouTube? Because I have a YouTube channel. I don't do much with it, but it's there. Or a Google Hangout. I've heard a lot of podcasters doing Google Hangouts. Yeah, just let me know. Anyway, I hope you have a great night.